Hey Gator fans, I'm Kelly Price here with Scott Carter of GatorZone.com. We're here at the first day of Florida football practice. Scott, what did you see today? How was the overall tone today?
Well, Kelly, it was kind of typical of your first football practice. A lot of work, a lot of drills. I mean, you could tell they were moving around these players in a very efficient manner. There was two sessions as a split squad. The upperclassmen went first, immediately followed by the younger players, the newcomers. There was no break in between. Basically, the first group left the field, the second group came on, and there was nothing that really stood out majorly other than just a chance for coaches to finally kind of get back out on the practice field with these guys. And you could tell it was kind of a get to know you again, and also some of these guys have never really gone through a day of practice with this coaching staff. So for about 25 guys, it was really their first chance to get out here as a Gator on a practice field.
You talked about all the new guys obviously coming in. What did you see from them today?
You know, one guy who did stick out, Martez Avi, I noticed he led kind of the warm-up session for the second group that came in. And right away you look at him and he's a physically imposing guy, an offensive lineman from Apopka High who, he's been talked about a lot, maybe as a guy who can play right away. And by looking at him, he looks like a guy who can play right away. Jordan Scarlett, the freshman running back from down in Miami, again, another guy who looked nice. Just carrying the ball a few times. He's shifty, got some quick feet. Looks like he could be a nice player for this team. And the receiver, Antonio Callaway, a lot of guys at Media Day talked about him yesterday. So he was a guy I was particularly interested in kind of watching today. I can see why they've talked highly of him over summer, because he does look like a guy who maybe could be an impact player in his first season.
New coaching staff, obviously, first practice. What is the coaching staff really trying to accomplish here in the first practice?
I think, they're obviously getting back to they can't work in pads for a few more days. So now these days are just to get out here, see how the guys are in shape. They haven't worked with these guys since the spring, and since then a lot of these players have undergone some physical transformations that the coaches talked about yesterday. They look a little different, so now they get to see them out here in football setting, and maybe a guy looks a little faster, a little leaner, or more bigger than they remember in the spring. So maybe that prompts some kind of thought on how to use them differently. But it's just really an evaluation period these first few days. Learning the system will come later, and obviously getting in game mode much later. So first few days just kind of a transition into camp to get things rolling.
The quarterback battle, obviously that's something everyone wants to know about. What did you see today from Will and Treon?
Both guys got plenty of reps. I thought Will Greer looked probably sharper early. Treon, he has his moments later. Again, it seems so early. I don't know if there's any separation there, but from Will Greer threw some nice passes early on that kind of caught my eye in that race.
All right, thanks for joining us, Scott. For continuing coverage of all things Gator football, stay tuned to GatorZone.com. For Scott Carter, I'm Kelly Price. Thanks for joining us.